जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरिवर धारी जय गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्री श्री राधा माधवाष्ट सखी वृंद श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय श्री श्री पंचतत्व की जय श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति श्रीमद्भागवतम Canto 10 Chapter 2 Text 19 सा देवकी सर्वजगन्निवास निवासा भूता नितरां नरेजे भोजेन्द्रगेहेऽग्निशिखेवरुद्धा सरस्वती ज्ञानखले यथा सती सा देवकी सर्वजगन्निवास निवासा भूता नितरां नरेजे भोजेन्द्रगेहेऽग्निशिखेवरुद्धा सरस्वती ज्ञानखले यथा सती सा देवकी सर्वजगन्निवास निवास भूता नितरां नरेजे भोजेन्द्रगेहेऽग्निशिखेवरुद्धा सरस्वती ज्ञानखले यथा सती Mataji's. सा देवकी that Devaki Devi, Sarva Jagat Nivasa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sustainer of all the universes, Matsthani Sarva Bhutani, Nivasa Bhuta, the womb of Devaki has now become the residence. Nitaram, extensively. Na, not. Reje, become illuminated. Bhojendragehe, within the limits of the house of Kamsa. Agnishikha iva, like the flames of a fire. Ruddha, covered. Saraswati, knowledge. Jnanakhale, in a person known as Jnanakhala, one who possesses knowledge but cannot distribute it. Yatha, or just as. Sati, so being. Translation. Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kamsa, she was like the flames of a fire covered by the walls of a pot, or like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of the human society. Purport. In this verse, the word Jnanakhala is most significant. Knowledge is meant for distribution. Although there is already much scientific knowledge, whenever scientists or philosophers awaken to a particular type of knowledge, they try to distribute it throughout the world. For otherwise, the knowledge gradually dries up and no one benefits from it. India has the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, but unfortunately, for some reason or other, this sublime knowledge of the science of God was not distributed throughout the world. Although it is meant for all of human society. Therefore, Krishna himself appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and ordered all Indians to take up the cause of distributing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita throughout the entire world. Yare dekhe tare kahe Krishna upadesh, amara agnya guru hanya tare desh. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Shri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 7, text 128. Although India has a sublime knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Indians have not done their proper duty of distributing it. Now, therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement has been set up to distribute this knowledge as it is, without distortion. Although previously there were attempts to distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, these attempts involved distortion and compromise with mundane knowledge. But now, the Krishna consciousness movement, without mundane compromises, is distributing Bhagavad Gita as it is. And people are deriving the benefits of awakening to Krishna consciousness and becoming devotees of Lord Krishna. Therefore, the proper distribution of knowledge has begun, by which not only will the whole world benefit, but India's glory will be magnified in human society. Kamsa tried to arrest Krishna consciousness within his house, Bhojendragehe, with the result that Kamsa, with all his opulence, was later vanquished. Similarly, the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was being choked by unscrupulous Indian leaders, with the result that India's culture and knowledge of the Supreme were being lost. Now, however, because Krishna consciousness is spreading, the proper use of Bhagavad Gita is being attempted. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guran Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So very beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada, emphasizing education. And not just any kind of education. The education given by Krishna, which is utmost important for our Krishna consciousness. Many times it has been seen that people who have knowledge, who have realization, they generally don't share it. There's very few people who have knowledge and are willing to share. There is one story coming from generations. It's not a Puranic story. I have to say some story, otherwise I can't give a class. The story is, there was one very big Pandit, famous all over South India. And he had a son, completely illiterate, not interested in learning anything. And years passed by and he was playing and wasting time. And he came to the age of getting married. Because his son, of such a great Pandit, the best in whole of South India, there are so many offers, different Brahmins, different Pandits offering their daughters. And he would always try to avoid it by saying, oh no, my son has to finish this Shastra and he's still studying this book, and he's always avoiding it. At one point, this big Pandit from North India, very good friend of this South Indian Pandit, comes to visit him. And he sees this son is of the age of marriage, and he proposes his daughter's wedding with him. And he sees that, the same thing, my son is studying this Shastra, that Shastra. He says, learning has no end. It can always be learnt. But After some age, you cannot get married. So he forced him to agree to marry his son with his daughter. The marriage was done. This girl, the very first day when she came to the boy's house, she knew he's a total fool. But what to do? She's now married to him. And as tradition goes, the first Diwali is being celebrated in the girl's house. So the newly wedded couple would go to the girl's family. And over there, she is the daughter of the biggest Pandit of North India. So all the family members, they are greatly learned people. And now this girl, she is thinking, how am I going to protect the reputation of my husband? So she comes up with a plan. She says, if anybody asks you any Shastric question, you just say, you're still studying that? I studied that ages ago. So they came over for the festival, and the people would come, oh, I have a question from Dharma Shastra, You're still learning that? I learned that ages ago. Oh, such a big Pandit. And he was replying this to everybody. And there was this 8-year-old kid. Kids are very observant. He says, he's answering the same thing to everybody. So he wrote on a piece of paper, do you actually know how to read? And he showed it. Oh, can you answer this question? And he says, you're still learning that? I read that ages ago. And then he just goes and says, look, he's a complete fool. He doesn't even know how to read. So he was laughed upon by the whole community. And this girl, she's feeling so sad, so embarrassed. They leave that night coming back to South India. And this person has no regret. He's just looking around here and there. And at one point he sees a tree with very beautiful flowers. And he says, oh, look at that tree. It's has such beautiful flowers. And the girl, out of frustration, she said, yes, just like you. Looks good but has no smell. Has no fragrance. And these words of his wife hurt him. He immediately got off the bullock cart. He says, I'm going to Kashi. I'm going to study there. And as long as I don't become qualified enough to defeat you in Shastra, I'm not coming back. And he says, no, I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. Just came out of frustration. He says, no, whatever it is, I'm not coming back. You go back home. And he went straight to Kashi, and he's asking in different gurukuls, oh, can you please teach me? Oh, sure. What would you like to learn? He says, I don't even know how to write. And he's an adult. All the gurukuls rejected him. So he's there on the banks of Ganga. There is no teacher who wants to teach me. Been trying for a few days. I have already told my wife I'm not coming back home till I'm as learned that I can defeat her. What's the use of my life? Let me kill myself. So he just decides to jump in Ganga and end his life. And as he was about to jump in Ganga, somebody grabbed his hand and he says, what are you doing? He says, I don't want to live anymore. I can't find a guru to teach me. And this person says, I will teach you. He says, okay, but I don't even know how to write letters. He says, that's not a problem. I will teach you as long as you are dedicated. He says, okay. And he wrote the alphabet on the sand. And he says, just keep on tracing this letter till I come back. And he started this early morning. Throughout the day, he kept on writing. The women, they are coming to fill water on the banks of the river. They are all laughing at him. He is completely focused. He can't see anything. He's just writing that alphabet. It's noontime. The sand is burning hot. It doesn't make a difference for him. He just keeps on tracing. It's evening time. By this, the skin was off, the flesh was off, and he was writing it with his bone. And in the evening, the guru comes back. takes him to his house and he starts teaching. He told his wife, don't feed him. Only give him chapati soaked in water, nothing else. And he was learning under this teacher for years. After a few years passed, 6 years had passed, and the king sent a proclamation saying, if there is any great Pandit who can defeat a Digvijayi means he has traveled around the world and defeated all the Brahmins, all the scholars. He had 8 big bullock carts filled with palm leaves of Brahmanas saying that I am defeated by you. So you can imagine how many hundreds of thousands of Brahmanas and Pandits he must have defeated. And he's walking with this whole entourage. All these people have to follow him. He said, if anybody can defeat me. So this young man, he's asking, can I go try? He asked his teacher. He says, yeah, sure, go ahead. He goes to the king's court and seamlessly defeats this big Pandit. And this Pandit immediately surrenders all these 8 big bullock carts of palm leaves written by different Pandits that yes, I'm defeated by you. And he writes it himself and gives it to him, and they all become his follower. The king was so happy, he puts him on an elephant, goes him around, and when he comes in front of his teacher's house, he immediately comes off, pays obeisances to his teacher, offers all these palm leaves to this great Pandit. While he was in his court, he and defeated this person. They asked him, who is your guru? You are such a learned person. Who is your guru? And he said, Narayana Shastri. He says, Narayana Shastri? Yes. He says, it's not possible. He said, why? Because he died 200 years ago. He said, what are you talking? I'm just learning with him. So people thought maybe he's a great Pandit, but he's crazy. Like all big scientists, they make these big innovations. Like I heard about Einstein. He had the same kind of clothes. Same color of shirts, same color of pant, because he cannot make a matching. So he would wear the same clothes. So they thought he's somebody like that, not very intelligent. Very intelligent, but not very, some problem in his head. So when he comes to the teacher's house, he's asking that this is what happened to me in the court. He says, no problem, just sit and eat. And so he sat down, they give him this chapati soaked in water. And for the first time, he realizes what he is eating. And he's like, what is this? Can I at least get some salt with this? And the teacher said, today is the last day of your education, because you started to figure it out. That, you started getting distracted from your learning. So they gave him salt. But the salt, the way how he gave him, he just elongated his hand up to the kitchen, gave him the salt. And this time he was shocked. He said, how is that possible? How are you able to elongate your hand? And he said, actually I am a Brahma Rakshasa. I died 200 years ago. So how come you become a Brahma Rakshasa? You're such a knowledgeable person. He says, I was so proud of my knowledge. There was nobody on the planet who could defeat me. But I was so proud of my knowledge, and I was scared that somebody would become greater. That's why I didn't teach anybody. So according to Shastra, the knowledge, the sin for a Brahmana who doesn't want to teach the knowledge is you become a Brahma Rakshasa. That's one of the reasons why you become a Brahma Rakshasa. So same way, Srila Prabhupada, sorry for getting so sidetracked. Srila Prabhupada, that's why he mentions that when you have a knowledge, you should teach it to others, whatever you have. Because people were not taking the education of Bhagavad Gita so seriously, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and he says, preach. Whatever you know, preach. I give you the order. You become guru and preach. Amaragya guru hoya tare desh. You have to uplift the whole world by preaching Krishna consciousness. Instruct everyone. In the year 1996, we were on Brajmandal Parikrama. And when you come to Mathura, there is this big Gurudwara. It says Jai Gurudev on top. Some of you might have seen. So in those days, it was under construction. But they had a lot of place. So the Brajmandal Parikrama stopped there. And we had a big kirtan, lecture, prasad. And as a courtesy, His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj asked the person who was taking care of this place, would you like to say something? This person spoke for 45 minutes. At the end, His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj said, these people have no philosophy. They have no shastra. But still this guy spoke for 45 minutes. We have so deep philosophy. We have such great Krishna consciousness. But when it comes to ask some devotee, Prabhu, would you like to give a small lecture? Oh, Prabhu, I cannot. I'm so fallen. Better ask somebody else. We have to be as enthusiastic to give a class as on the spot. Srila Prabhupada said, a devotee should be ready to give a lecture on the spot. He said, you have to speak about Krishna consciousness. He should be ready and enthusiastic. Immediately start preaching. That's the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yare dekhe, tare kahe Krishna upadesh. Whomever you see, you talk about Krishna. Srila Prabhupada meets a Formula 1 race driver, he talks about Krishna consciousness. He meets a bishop, he talks about Krishna consciousness. He meets a news reporter, he talks about Krishna consciousness. That is our mission. Whatever we do, we talk about Krishna consciousness. If we don't do it, we are not pleasing Srila Prabhupada. We are not following the Acharya, our parampara. And it's a big loss to the whole world. To all the living entities. And there is one, I can't remember the name of this. It was a saint in the Christian, whatever, Sampradaya. He went out to preach and nobody would listen to him. So he just went on the bank of the river and he starts speaking to the ocean. And all the fish gathered and he was preaching to them. Seeing this, everybody gathered and they wanted to hear from him. Srila Prabhupada said, we can even preach to the walls. It doesn't matter where you are, what situation you are in, start preaching. Talk about Krishna. And it's it's seen, we have seen it on several occasions. As soon as you start talking about Krishna, people who have nothing to do with Krishna consciousness very easily get attracted. Why? They get attracted because they see the person has confidence in what you speak. They see that you are happy. People in the world are not happy. So why are you happy? What's the source of your happiness? The source of our happiness is we are in connection with Krishna, who is Sat Chit Ananda. He's eternal, he's full of knowledge, and he's blissful. And because we are in touch with Satchidananda, we are always blissful. Therefore, remember we went to Brazil for preaching. And over there, many devotees have this concept of don't dress in Krishna conscious clothings. You should wear your pants and t-shirt and cap, and then you go doing book distribution. It says, hello friend, can I speak to you for a minute? I have this book. And sometimes people listen, sometimes not. And we were three of us, we went from Gurukul, and we were dressed just like this, and we had a turban on our head. We were doing book distribution, and people were like looking, who is this? And they are asking the devotee who is doing big distribution, who is that? Do you know him? He has the same kind of marking which that's on your head. Who is he? He said, oh, they are people from India. And they came to us. And he says, so what are you doing? And they saw us wearing the wooden shoes. Oh, can we take a picture with you? Yeah, sure, if you take a Bhagavad Gita. And it ended up, 3 of us, we did we did twice the amount of book distribution than the rest of the whole group of devotees. Why? Because we were comfortable in presenting ourselves as Krishna conscious people, which people are very, very unique, very, very shocked and surprised. He's so comfortable. And they want to be like that. Taking pictures with us. We were like dealt as if we were some varieties of celebrities. Wherever we went throughout Brazil, people, the whole shop would stop. Everybody, the customers, the employees of the shop, they will all gather around us, take pictures with us. And for us, it was very easy to do preaching, book distribution, very, very easy. We were invited for the FIFA World Cup. And inside the World Cup is happening, we were outside preaching. And we had big gatherings. We were having Nagar Sankirtans, big, huge gatherings, and we distributed hundreds of books. So people were very, very enthusiastic. We had a group of boys, we went to Ganga Sagar a few years ago. In 7 hours, a group of 15 boys distributed 1,316 Bhagavad Gitas. Group of 15 boys, 7 hours, 1,617 Bhagavad Gitas. Why? They were very, very enthusiastic. And we had one Chinese boy. He did not know one word in Hindi. And if you go to Ganga Sagar, everybody either speaks Bengali or they speak Hindi. And we told him, if you want to say, take Bhagavad Gita, the word is Bhagavad Gita le lo. Right? He had no idea. And he's saying, instead of saying le lo, he's saying lole. Got confused. So he's going around saying, Bhagavad Gita lole, Bhagavad Gita lole, Bhagavad Gita lole. People were just, laughing. But his enthusiasm was so contagious that he was one of our best booksellers without knowing the language. Why? Because he was reflecting Krishna consciousness. The teacher said, let us go distribute our Bhagavad Gita. They were full of enthusiasm. Krishna consciousness was just reflecting from them. Here, as it says, Devaki Devi just looked like the fire concealed in a pot. These boys looked like fire in an open environment, brilliant, bright, because there was no Kamsa trying to stop us. So, when it comes to teach, when it comes to preach, there is no, we don't have to worry about it. There's one pastime of Srila Prabhupada. He is in Kumbh Mela and he's talking with some Sardarji. He came there. And Srila Prabhupada said, all my disciples, they speak Sanskrit. And this Sardarji says, really? Everybody speaks Sanskrit? He says, yes. And there was one Western Mataji. She said, Srila Prabhupada turned to this Mataji and he says, so, speak something in Sanskrit. And this Mataji, she says, Prabhupada, I don't know Sanskrit. But she was so soft, Srila Prabhupada just leaned over to her. He says, do you know Guru Ashtakam, Mangalarti? And she said, yes, Prabhupada. He says, that is Sanskrit. So immediately this lady, she stands up, puts the table on the side, raises her hand, and she just goes, Samsara Davananalidalaka, in her Western accent. And Srila Prabhupada says, thank you very much. And he turns to the Sardarji and he says, just see, they all speak Sanskrit. Whenever some devotee tried to do some variety of service, some variety of preaching, one devotee made a bench here in Sridhar Mayapur. Srila Prabhupada said, you will be blessed by Rupa Goswami. He gave so much enthusiasm to devotees. The amount of preaching that happened during the time of Srila Prabhupada is not happening anymore. Why? Because the devotees at that time of Srila Prabhupada were so enthusiastic to please Srila Prabhupada. They were all, what, in their early 20s. Am I right, Prabhu? Early 20s, going to a completely unknown land and opening preaching centers. They just go, from America, went to France, opened a big yatra. Tamal Krishna Maharaj went to China, opened a big yatra. So many varieties, so many devotees, youngsters, just went, opened big centers. And did they know everything? No. They just repeated whatever they heard from Srila Prabhupada. And they did not even have 1% knowledge of Srila Prabhupada had. But whatever they knew, they would just with full faith repeat it. Yara dekhe tare kahe krishna upadesh. Amaragya guru hoya tare idesh. And today we are all sitting here from different parts of the world. This is what is the sampradaya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just follow orders. Whatever you know, speak. With utsaha, nishchaya, dhairya, tat karma pravartanat, sangatagat sato vritte, shadabhir bhakti prasidhyati. Rupa Goswami mentioned in the second verse of Nectar of Instructions. Full of enthusiasm, determination, full faith, utsaha, nishchaya, dhairya, patience. Sangatyaga, don't associate with worldly minded people. Whatever it is. And you follow the six things, and your devotional service will progress very nicely. This is the sampradaya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if we do that, we will be successful, no doubt. We have seen it in the past. Those devotees who are doing it now, they are successful. I might have said this story of a friend of mine from Czech Republic. His name is Madhu Mangal Das. Very enthusiastic book distributor. He's short, about 5 foot. He was doing book distribution one time, and he came across this tall, 6.5 feet tall, big bodybuilder man. He goes up to him, wants to distribute book, and he must have a bad day. He turns to him, pulls his gun out, and he says, "One more word from you and I'm going to shoot you dead." And this devotee, his eyes became big, very enthusiastic, sticked his finger inside the barrel of the gun, and he said, "Does it work?" This guy, this big 6.5 foot tall man was confused. He was like, what kind of a person you are? Death is on top of your head. I can shoot you and you're sticking your finger inside the barrel. How can you be so comfortable in this situation? It's because I am not this body, I am a soul. He says, who told you? He says, this book, Bhagavad Gita. Take this book, you will be happy. This person immediately bought the book, became a devotee, and they became best of friends. From being, so like such a psycho that he's ready to kill people, seeing the reflection of Krishna consciousness on a devotee's face completely becomes opposite. Becomes happy, becomes friend with the Vaishnava, and he himself becomes a good Vaishnava. This is what we are supposed to be doing. With no fear, no hesitation, no shame, just repeat what you hear. In Gurukul we have a system. The teacher teaches the senior boys, who in return teach it to the others. To their juniors, who teach it to their juniors, who teach it to their juniors. The result is, a teacher in one class can give one-to-one attention to as many students that are sitting in the class. And the students who are teaching it to their juniors have to know it very well in order to be able to teach it. So as much as they know it well enough. And when you repeat, the knowledge does not dry up. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. As soon as the scientists, they become enlightened about some knowledge, they share it with everybody. Why? Because if they don't share it, the knowledge will become dried up. And that's what happened in India. People were not interested in learning Bhagavad Gita because many people, they gave all varieties of mundane interpretation. After seeing, Bhagavad Gita as it is, one scholar decided, he wrote Bhagavad Gita as I think it is. as it was. All these kind of Bhagavad Gita started to come up. Nobody claims it as it is. It's only Srila Prabhupada's. And if we see, only Srila Prabhupada's Gita is the most read Gita. Yeah. So this is what is our duty. Srila Prabhupada in one page purport explains it to us. Hare Krishna. We will end here. If anybody has any comments or any questions. Yes, Prabhu. Could somebody take a mic to Prabhuji?
Thank you. Very nice class. I was just thinking about how you were saying that we all should be ready to preach, or ready to sit on the Vyasa-san at a moment's notice. I was thinking about the first Janmashtami in America, the first Janmashtami celebrated outside of India. And Srila Prabhupada actually stopped his talk and said, now I would like my students to offer their realizations. And of course, they'd all been around for a very, very short time, the ones that were serious, and there were people who were just there for a couple of days. But Prabhupada was calling on them and saying, what can you tell me about your realization about Krishna consciousness? And some of the people were, very hippie, very still doing drugs and things like that. And they would say, well, I really love it. It's really cool. It's cheap. You get really high. You don't have to pay for it. You're not going to get arrested. These were the kind of comments. And after everyone would say something, I would say, thank you very much. So he was just appreciating everyone's realization, which everybody who comes in contact or becomes even remotely interested in Krishna consciousness has a realization. So for us to, say, oh no, I can't speak, I can't do that, it's really not what we're supposed to be doing. Just like this purport by Prabhupada explains that everybody is supposed to be preaching. And I've said this in a class 6 months ago or something, that the easiest form of preaching is simply just smile. If you smile at people, they see that you're a Hare Krishna. You're exuding like that, the young Chinese boy who couldn't speak the language. He was just exuding this enthusiasm through his personality coming out. So that we can do. Everybody can preach. And obviously the more advanced you get, the different levels that you can preach, but you can certainly all smile and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, first you give me apology for my offense, a small offense I'm going to do now. After Vyasadeva, say in the disciplic succession, Sri Madhvacharya was written Bhagavad Gita. Subsequently, Ramanujacharya also written Bhagavad Gita. So many Bhagavad Gitas are all there. But when Prabhupada specifically written the Bhagavad Gita, why put it as it is? You mean to say that other Bhagavad Gitas are different than this Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita? Somehow I say Bhagavad Gita, there is only one Bhagavad Gita, only one Bhagavatam. Similarly, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then why Bhagavad Gita as it is as mentioned? It gives little bit, I feel, sorry for the...
No, what it is that Bhagavad Gita is one. The purports given on Bhagavad Gita varies. So people have written their understandings with no offense to, the commentary by Sripad Madhvacharya, Sripad Ramanujacharya. Srila Prabhupada in his Gita, he's quoting Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Shankaracharya. He's quoting all of them in his Gita. What Srila Prabhupada has done, he has studied everybody's books. He has given what is relevant for us here today. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, their commentaries are written, beautiful commentaries. Who has preached? Nobody. Of course, people have preached, but it only remained within the Brahmin community. Have you seen Madhvas who are Vaishyas, Shudras? No, you don't see that. You only see the Madhva Brahmanas. The Shris are little open to all the four Varnas. But still, their preaching is only limited to their own community. It's not spreaded. Whereas Srila Prabhupada, he went throughout the whole world. And there were so many Gitas. But Srila Prabhupada has given what exactly Lord Shri Krishna has explained. So that's why he wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is. And at one point, Srila Prabhupada did mention that it's not him who is writing. It's Krishna dictating it to him, and he's writing what Krishna says. So that's why it is Bhagavad Gita as it is, because Krishna has spoken. He told Srila Prabhupada what to write. And there is one very interesting glorification of Srila Prabhupada. The Sri Vaishnavas in Sri Rangam, they came to ISKCON devotees and they asked, who is Srila Prabhupada? So the devotees said that Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON and blah, 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 blah. He says, no. That's we all know. We are interested to know who he is. What do you mean? I don't know which part of Bhagavatam it is, but they say, in explaining Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, in one purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, wrote it into 6 sentences. The same knowledge, Sripad Ramanujacharya, he wrote it in a book. So what took Ramanujacharya a book to explain was explained by Srila Prabhupada in 6 sentences. And Ramanujacharya is an incarnation of Anantadev. So who is Srila Prabhupada? The devotees were shocked. They had no idea. And they said, you people have no idea who Srila Prabhupada is. And they left. So this is the glory of Srila Prabhupada. He just wrote what Krishna dictated to him, and that's why it's Bhagavad Gita as it is.
That's okay, Prabhu, but one thing, even the introduction of the Prabhupada is very clearly written in Bhagavad Gita. Actually, in the first instance, I ended with 200 pages of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita, normally when I started with that, only 200 pages, it was over. But on pupils' request, then that Bhagavad Gita increased the volume, and I extended so many things. So, okay, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Say Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita. See, if they written Bhagavad Gita and written by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, it's okay. But Bhagavad Gita as it is, tomorrow if somebody has written something Bhagavad Gita, he may say, this is actually Bhagavad Gita. So that title I'm little bit, of course I'm...
because see, different authors, different philosophers, they gave their own interpretation on Bhagavad Gita. For example, there is a Bhagavad Gita written by Mahatma Gandhi. And he says the essence of Bhagavad Gita is non-violence. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, so Arjuna is going to kill hundreds of thousands of people. Arjuna was saying, I don't want to kill, I'd rather go out to the forest. I don't want to kill any of these people. But Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. So is the essence of Bhagavad Gita non-violence? No, but the essence of Bhagavad Gita is sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. You give up all varieties of religion and just completely surrender unto me without any attachments. So that's why, so many people have written so many commentaries on Gita with their own interpretation. That's why Srila Prabhupada says, it's not my interpretation. It's what exactly Krishna said, what Krishna meant while speaking Bhagavad Gita. That's why Bhagavad Gita as it is. And if you see in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, there is all these comments by different philosophers. They are also saying why, they are explaining why as it is, that title is bona fide to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami's purport on Bhagavad Gita. Why that as it is title is there. You can find it over there. It's written by different philosophers of Srila Prabhupada's time.
But it's not his own now. Purport written by Prabhupada is not his own now. Because prior to that in the same group, so we are not discussing about the other people who have written the Bhagavad Gita. Only disciplic succession will take it granted. In our disciplic, say for example, Madhvacharya, and after that, in our ISKCON, now the ISKCON has come.
Yeah.
So in the same disciplic succession, Even Madhvacharya has written the Bhagavad Gita, so, but they are not like other people, other mundane people. I'm not discussing about the mundane people.
Okay.
But out of 645 what Prabhupada has quoted, there are about 645 Bhagavad Gitas written prior to me.
Right.
So let us forget about the other mundane Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Let us discuss only our Guru Parampara, disciplic succession.
Okay.
So if that is the case, so purport only is written, but nobody can written slokam or nobody can written anything.
Right.
But only the purport are being written by so many
Okay.
acharyas like their own, they will not interpret their own now.
No.
Suppose if you can say Ramanujacharya written Bhagavad Gita, Madhvacharya has written Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
and so many our acharyas are, this main four acharya sampradayas are, they written Bhagavad Gita.
Right.
So we mean to say that they are in a different way?
No,
But
they are
Bhagavad Gita
bona fide. They are bona
Yes,
fide.
they're bona fide.
Yeah.
Then why the title has been given as a Bhagavad Gita as it is? That is only the problem.
Because there is, okay. If you read Gita, is there any commentary from Sripad Madhvacharya? In Srila Prabhupada's Gita, is he quoting Madhvacharya? Is Srila Prabhupada quoting Madhvacharya? Yes, he is. He's quoting Ramanujacharya. He's taking it from all of these personalities. So their Bhagavad Gita surely is bona fide. No doubt about it. And because Srila Prabhupada has taken quotations from their Gitas, that means, for us if we see it, yes, their Gita is also bona fide. They didn't add the title as it is. Srila Prabhupada did. But we are not saying that their Gita is bogus or it has something less. No. For us, for the disciples of, for the followers of ISKCON, and for the people of having understanding at this present moment, for the upcoming at least next 10,000 years minimum, this is the instruction. Right? When Madhvacharya was preaching, was he successful? Yes. When Ramanujacharya was preaching, was he successful? Yes. What happened to the preaching of Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya today? Is it happening? No. Among the Madhvas, there is only one sannyasi called Pejavar Swami who is extensively preaching. And what is he preaching? He's preaching what Srila Prabhupada says. With the vision of, keeping in track what Madhvacharya has to say. But what system is he following? Srila Prabhupada's system. If a Madhva goes out of India, if a Madhva sannyasi goes out of India, can he worship Udupi Krishna? No. Immediately rejected. He cannot. Why? Because he has gone into the Malicha Desha and this and that. Can they preach? No. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithvi Chati Nagar Adigram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Moranam. Only one person did it. That's Srila Prabhupada. The prophecy of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was successfully done by Srila Prabhupada. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself was so pleased by the teachings of Madhvacharya that he became a disciple in the disciplic succession of Shri Madhvacharya. So is he bogus? No. But the teachings of Madhvacharya has been explained by Srila Prabhupada for the people of our brain set. If you read, Mahabharata Tatpara Nirnaya, only Brahmins can understand that. What about every other living entity? For them, you require Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. You won't be able to understand it.
No, see, in that I have no any controversy, Prabhu, in the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody is accepting now the Bhagavad Gita is now on the line, and there's a kala paristhiti. Because of the present circumstances, this is okay. So, but my intention is, why as it is, it has been mentioned, additionally added to Bhagavad Gita. Because scriptures will be there, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, so many scriptures, Upanishads, Puranas. But as it is, why it has been mentioned as it is? If that is the case, other Bhagavatam classes are a little bit wrong.
Prabhu wants to comment on that.
Just want to answer his question. I think he's getting stuck on this point, like why as it is. Prabhupada is actually referring to all these unscrupulous Gitas in the market, hundreds of them, that are not speaking as it is. So he's putting the title as it is to tell the people, this is going to be an original version. He's not going back all the way to Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya to discredit any of their work. He's simply saying that there are so many other Gitas in the market that are not proper translations. So here I give you Bhagavad Gita as it is. That's what Prabhupada means. I think you already answered it. Just find him to be stuck on this point. So wanted to clarify. Clear, Prabhupada?
No, it's okay. No worries.
That makes yes, no?
No worries. So we will end here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande.